Welcome to Cybersecurity Awareness TV, episode number 414, recorded December 10th, 2022. My name is Mac Jackson Jr. I'm a cybersecurity researcher and cybersecurity consultant. If this is the first time you have seen our show, I discuss cybersecurity news and awareness techniques and tips that you can use to protect your family and your business from the fastest growing crimes of the 21st century. I'd like to give a shout out and a thanks to everybody who supported our show here on Cybersecurity Awareness TV on the WWDBTV network here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're on the Roku network, folks. You'd like to find us there too, you can find us there. If you'd like to find out more about my company and what we do as far as cybersecurity consulting, you can find me on my website at macjacksonjr.com. That's macjacksonjr.com. We're also on a Patreon channel, folks. You can also follow us on a Patreon channel at patreon.com/Mac Jackson Jr. Folks, like we say every week, remember to share, like, subscribe, and hit that notification button to keep track of all the latest news and techniques on cybersecurity awareness here on the WWDBTV. In today's episode, folks, we scan the country and talking about cybersecurity news and events that affects you and your business, folks. We have information that this is very, very important for you to take a look at of what's going on in cybersecurity. We also talk about the FBI warnings. There's FBI warnings, folks, that have been sprawling up now, especially during the holiday season here in December. And also in our third segment, as we do every week, we talk about tips, business tips, folks, that you can do to protect yourselves from these types of cyber threats. In our first top story news, folks, cybersecurity news. Cybersecurity from around the globe. We'll start here in the U.S. Our stories here on cybersecurity news, we talk about what's going on around the world, and especially here in our country related to cybersecurity news that can affect our infrastructure and our security. Here on Cybersecurity Awareness TV, last week we discussed about the LA Unified School District and how the ransomware attacks have caused that LA Unified School District to deal with ransomware from hackers that are wanting to lock up the school systems and demand monies before they can have access to the students' curriculum and personal information about the students and the teachers and the whole infrastructure of the school. Well, we also mentioned last week that it happened again in New Jersey, was hit by the same and similar cyber attack. Now this week, these hackers are back in San Diego, folks, doing their evil deeds, folks, trying to hijack and extort information from school districts around the country. This is a grave concern, and we all should be aware of it, what's going on with this. The reaction to the San Diego Unified School District and what they did, we have a story to report to you from ABC 10 News. Here's a report.
What we're talking about here is harm to students, potentially for life.
Major concerns for the personal information of tens of thousands of students and staff at San Diego Unified. Tonight, the district is revealing what they're calling a cybersecurity incident. Good evening, I'm Wale Aliyu.
And I'm Kimberly Hunt. The district has been targeted multiple times in the past 5 years. ABC 10 News reporter Ryan Hill is joining us, and this is serious enough that the district is telling everybody to take action to protect their information. Ryan?
Yeah, Kimberly, Wale, the district is telling that all of their staff have changed their passwords and are in the process of doing this for students, but a local expert says that they need to do more in order to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Thousands of families in San Diego Unified getting a big heads up on Thursday, a cybersecurity threat hitting the school district.
They're attacking schools all over the country.
Cy Hoda is a cybersecurity expert and runs a San Diego company that specializes in combating cyber attacks on school districts. He says the ramifications of one of these attacks can be massive, given that schools have years upon years of personal information on students and family and staff.
Now they can sell it on the dark web and commit identity theft for all of these young people that might not see the impact for many years.
But Hoda says others could see the impact right away.
When they apply for a student loan, or the parent has to supply the information to, for a student loan, that's when they find out the parent's identity has been stolen or the student's identity has been stolen, credit's ruined, and all of a sudden they're like, what do we do now?
San Diego Unified is telling staff and families once it learned of the incident, the district locked down the network, launched an investigation, and let law enforcement know what's happening. While the district didn't answer our questions about what kind of threat it was, SDUSD is also saying the threat's not impacting safety and emergency measures at district schools and offices, while all critical systems are still up and running. The district's changed staff passwords and is working to do the same for students.
Really, the school's got to step back and really take a deep dive and make sure that this doesn't happen again.
San Diego Unified superintendent saying to families and staff in part, quote, "We want our students and the San Diego Unified community to know that we place a high value on maintaining the integrity and security of the data we hold in our systems," end quote. This isn't the first time San Diego Unified has been targeted. In 2018, the district had revealed a phishing attack that had put hundreds of thousands of students and staff's personal information at risk. And a couple of months ago, Los Angeles Unified's network hit by a ransomware attack that disrupted computer systems for days with some personal information stolen. For Hoda, he believes this can happen again if serious steps like installing the federal NIST cyber network aren't taken.
Once the attacker gets in, frankly, it's a little too late, and this is probably going to happen again. So you've got to make sure there aren't any back doors that the attacker may have left, because they may come back in again and double dip in 6 months or a year.
A spokesperson for the district says it'll provide more information once the investigation is complete. San Diego Unified is also saying in the coming days, staff will work on getting new passwords for students. Reporting live here in the studio, Ryan Hill, ABC 10 News.
Pretty amazing, folks, and the news continues. In our breaking news segment, we talk about what's going on in cyber. What happened last month, folks? Hack attacks, cybersecurity hack attacks. There's been some major hack attacks happen, especially when it comes to apps on your phone. Are you out there? Are you one of the people who have an app on your phone called WhatsApp? That's right, called the WhatsApp. It allows you to communicate back and forth, send postings back and forth, and also exchange money. Well, just last month, there was a big hack attack on the WhatsApp attack that were able to compromise over 500 million users, folks, in over 84 countries. Yes, that's right, folks, 500 million. This information is also now available to other hackers on the darknet. That's right, folks, you can actually go in and buy this database on the darknet. Absolutely incredible. Also, just a quick pause. If you go to my website and contact me, I will talk to you and show you on the darknet, folks, where you can buy stuff and what your information can be worth, the value of it. Yes, I have a spreadsheet that we're able to acquire from law enforcement of the information that's on the darknet, what credit cards are selling for, what IDs are selling for. It's absolutely incredible what's out there. Yes. Definitely law enforcement is going after these folks that are on the darknet and trying to shut these folks down. But as all hackers do, folks, it's electronic and technology. They're moving their servers from one country to another. And it's like a cat and mouse game. But this information that these hackers are stealing, they're actually stealing them and then uploading the information on databases and trying to resell it for funds. The stolen information. The stolen information consists of things like personal identifier information, such as your phone numbers, your social security numbers, any sort of information that can personally identify you as an individual. These hackers are selling it on the dark net. This WhatsApp information that's been for sale out there is absolutely incredible. WhatsApp organizations are definitely working on hardening their cybersecurity posture to make sure this doesn't happen again, and make sure they're putting everything they have possible to make sure they are protecting their users from this type of cyber attacks. Also, just wanted to say that there are over 2 billion users of WhatsApp globally. The next story is from Hyundai. Yes, folks, Hyundai Motors found a critical bug in the vehicle computer systems that allows hackers to remote start your car. That's right, folks. Using a laptop wirelessly, hackers were able to remote start Hyundai's car. This happened last month. This was very interesting to the hackers, and they were selling this information again in the darknet of how to do this. All they needed was the vehicle's VIN number, and they can log into the database of Hyundai and get the codes of how to start the actual vehicles, and they were doing it. Right now, Hyundai has reported that they are aware of this particular issue and bug, and they are working on fixing it. By this time, it should be corrected. But it's letting you know, folks, this type of thing does happen. And I didn't say EVs. It could be both EVs and ICE cars, right? Could be EVs and gas vehicles as well. This has happened to. Also, a company called DraftKings. DraftKings is a sports betting company here that used for sports betting, electronic sports betting as well. Well, they had a big hack attack happen with them as well, where hackers were able to acquire account information of customers from DraftKings, and they were able to steal the account numbers and cash information of their bettings and their winnings. Currently, DraftKings are aware of this issue, and they again are working on fixing this as well to stop any type of future attacks that may happen. Our next story takes us to an issue we talked about last week, folks, and this is starting to bubble up now from every corner. This issue has to do with TikTok. So I pause that again, folks. TikTok. Before I even start the story, let me tell everyone out there, if you have TikTok on your phone right now, folks, my advice to you, and not just coming from me as a cybersecurity consultant and researcher, I'm saying for all cybersecurity experts around the country, around the world, and from law enforcement as well. Delete this app off your phone. Our story takes us to North Carolina, where the governor of North Carolina ordered all the employees of the state to remove TikTok from all their mobile devices because the FBI has stated, it came out, that said that TikTok is a threat to national security. That's right, folks. TikTok app is a threat to national security. And the company or the organization or the country that's connected to TikTok is China. Now you may ask, well, what does this have to do with me? I'm just using TikTok on my phone to do these crazy dances and record wild music. It doesn't matter. I'm not doing anything. Folks, what you're not realizing is you have an app on your phone that the app on your phone is actually a spy. It's not doing what you think it's doing. It's doing other things, like downloading information from your phone and sending it to some organization or some other database, not even connected to your phone that you're not even aware of, right? Also, when you go into TikTok, TikTok can log into your social media, like Facebook. Now, once they're in your social media, they can take a look at all the posts that you post. Information about what type of computer you have, what type of phone you use, or what type of services that you use on your phone, when you operate your phone, who you're talking to on your phone. All this information is called analytics, and it's about you as an individual. Would you want that information shared with a foreign state that doesn't know about you? So when you say, I'm not doing anything wrong, it doesn't matter, that's what the hackers want. You've given them consent when you make statements like that. So again, I advise you to share this information with your family and friends. Have them remove TikTok from their phone, folks. It's actually a danger to national security, according to the FBI. I have a story I'd like to share with you to further emphasize this report regarding TikTok from Fox Carolina News. Here's a story.
New at 6, Governor McMaster ordered TikTok to be blocked from all South Carolina government devices this week. In a letter the governor wrote in part, quote, protecting our state's critical cyber infrastructure from foreign and domestic threats is key to ensuring the health, safety, and well-being of our citizens and businesses. Federal law enforcement and national security officials have warned that TikTok poses a clear and present danger to its users. So how dangerous could TikTok be? Officials say very.
Just one or two state employees that were, using TikTok on their state devices could have, compromised a lot of very important information.
And government officials from other states have also done the same on their devices.
And for more on the latest moves by these state governments banning TikTok with government devices, we now want to bring in Ross Philippek with Corsica Technologies, a cybersecurity expert. So Ross, thanks so much for joining us to go ahead and get right into it. As far as the responses that you've seen from these state governments banning TikTok, do you see from your perspective a real reason to do so?
Yeah, the primary issue with TikTok really boils down to privacy. So TikTok is owned by a Chinese tech firm, and the Chinese national intelligence law really compels any Chinese companies to share, essentially any data with the Chinese government if the government feels that that information would be useful for state intelligence. So you might ask yourself, well, why would the government care one way or the other about my dance video or my lip syncing video or whatever I'm uploading to TikTok? Well, they don't, but they might be interested in some of the other data that TikTok is collecting. So TikTok is actually very aggressive about the depth and the breadth of the information that it's able to collect about our devices and about us as individuals. I think it really goes well above and beyond what you would expect to be necessary for like a standard entertainment type app. So, for instance, it knows what type of smartphone we have, what operating system we're running, what other apps we have installed, information about our browsing history, information about keystrokes that we make on our device, things like the Wi-Fi networks we connect to, geolocation information, and even personal stuff like obviously our name, email, relationship status, age, information about our contacts and our photos, that type of thing. But we can even link TikTok to our other social media channels. So for instance, we could use our Facebook account to sign in to TikTok. But when we do that, what's really happening is that we are giving TikTok permission to connect to our Facebook accounts and to read certain types of information from our Facebook profile. So, you can kind of see now we're in a situation where TikTok on its own has the ability to collect a lot of information about us, but we can also give it the ability to go out and scrape additional information from our other social media channels. So at the end of all this, I think probably the biggest red flag here with TikTok is the potential for it to collect biometric information. And by biometrics, I'm really talking about things like facial geometry and fingerprints, voice prints, even iris patterns. This type of information is highly valuable to state intelligence because it's permanent. So like if you get your credit card number stolen, the bank, they just send you a new credit card with a new number. But if you get your biometric data stolen, the cat's out of the bag at that point. Nobody's getting a new face or a new iris or anything like that. So once that information's gone, it's gone and you can't change it. That's really the big issue with TikTok.
That's a lot more in depth than honestly could have even imagined. Now, when you see these states banning it for government devices, when it comes to Maryland now, and South Dakota, and now here in South Carolina, we've also seen the FBI director warn against it, the FCC commissioner warn against it. And so when it comes to those government devices, there are some really serious threats that could be there at play if those devices use TikTok.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it kind of gets back to what I was talking about, just the depth and breadth of information that it's able to collect from those devices and about us as individuals.
So what would be your advice to anyone who uses TikTok?
So if you're truly concerned about privacy, unfortunately with TikTok, there's not much opportunity to control this stuff through configuration settings. Really, your only recourse is to just not use the app, unfortunately. But that's just the reality, I think, of where we are today.
Do you see any sort of ripple down effect of this happening where this is maybe just the first step where state agencies, the governors are taking these actions in regards to the executive branch? Or do you see some more action being taken, not just at the state level, but also at the federal level as well?
Yeah, certainly. It's difficult to tell exactly what's going to happen in the future, but, certainly with what's happening with TikTok now, I could easily see that cascading down and affecting other apps and other services in the future if there are similar privacy issues that surface.
All right, definitely something to watch for. All right, Ross Philippek for us with Corsica Technologies. Ross, thank you.
Amazing, folks. Our next story continues the discussion on TikTok with another governor, the governor of Maryland. This governor of Maryland now also says that they are banning TikTok from their employee devices. Now, and by the time we recorded this show, there's been several other governors across the country that also have put out mandates with their employees, state employees, letting them know that please remove TikTok from your device. Now, here's a big one. Google is also saying remove TikTok from your device. Now, come on, who's bigger than Google right now? Right? Google is saying remove TikTok from your device. Now, of course, TikTok is saying that, well, no, it's not necessarily true what's going on right now, but the discussion now within the IT world is to have the databases of Google owned by the US. Right now, they're owned by a contractor within China. The discussion right now is to have information from TikTok to be brought back to US, where it's maintained here under the auspice of our government and our laws here in the US. That would be better. So we hope to have that set up. And when that does, we'll definitely report in the show, but definitely stay tuned to Space and other spaces out there and listen to news, what's going on with this information regarding TikTok. But to further emphasize this story, let's take us to Baltimore, Maryland, folks, on WJZ News and discuss this information on TikTok.
I'm Rick Ritter.
And I'm Vic Carter. It's a social media platform that's been stirring up debate for about a year now. And tonight, Maryland's leader is taking a stand against it.
I mean, both parents and kids know we're talking about TikTok. And a little bit earlier today, Governor Larry Hogan announced he's banning state government employees now from using that app, this over cybersecurity concerns. So WJZ Live at 11 o'clock, Jessica Albert has been looking into what this means now for state employees.
And Jessica, you also spoke with a TikTok representative. What did they have to say?
Well, Rick and Vic, TikTok says that users and local governments don't need to worry about using TikTok, but TikTok security has been called into question a lot recently, like you just said, and another governor just made a similar decision that Larry Hogan made today.
TikTok, known for its viral videos.
I scroll on it a lot when I get bored.
And for exploding in popularity during the pandemic.
My daughter taught me over COVID that you can learn a lot in 15 seconds.
Is now being scrutinized over cybersecurity concerns. Governor Larry Hogan announcing Tuesday he's banning state employees from using TikTok and certain Russian and Chinese influenced products on government devices. The governor of South Dakota instituted a similar ban for her state's employees last week. LaWanda Carter of Baltimore says her job has done the same.
Yeah, we've had to eliminate the app from our phones.
Governor Hogan isn't the only one calling TikTok into question.
Several other federal government leaders are too, including the director of the FBI. He's worried the company that owns TikTok could be spying on you.
The Chinese government has shown a willingness to steal Americans' data on a scale that dwarfs any other.
Last month, the FCC commissioner also called for a nationwide ban on TikTok. Earlier this year, he asked Apple and Google to remove it from their app stores. WJZ reached out to TikTok about Governor Hogan's ban. A spokesperson sent us a statement saying, in part, we believe the concerns driving these bans are largely fueled by misinformation about our company.
Something to look out for.
We spoke with some Johns Hopkins students who believe personal use of the app is harmless, as long as you're smart about it.
You have to be careful what you post regardless of the platform.
Now that this ban is in effect, state agencies will have to remove it from their networks. They will also have to implement restrictions to make sure that people cannot download it or use it on government devices. Reporting live in Baltimore, Jessica Albert for WJZ.
Well, folks, that's a lot of information on TikTok. I would definitely recommend you share the information that you have heard on the show with all family and friends and people you know. If they have TikTok on their phone, definitely erase it. Now, if you want to see TikTok videos, as of today, you can look at them on YouTube. Yes, folks, that's right, YouTube. People that post their TikTok information on TikTok, they also will make a copy and put it on YouTube as well, so you can view it there to see those different TikTok videos. But as far as creating them your own, I would not recommend doing that, folks. Definitely take the advice. There's something going on right now with TikTok. We've been talking about it for the last 2 years, and now see how slow it takes for the law and for government to react to technology. Think about all the data that's already been gathered from all the users of TikTok over the last 2 years, and now people are saying, "Wow, let's do something about it." This has been going on for 2 years, folks. We need to become more proactive than reactive to these types of cyber threats that affect our everyday lives. Folks, the holiday season is upon us, and here at Cybersecurity Awareness TV, we also wanted to let you know, please be careful out there. Make sure that you have vet all websites that you are looking at when you want to do business out there and buying your purchases and your gifts for your friends and family. There are hackers that are looking to exploit you, to get you to buy gift cards from vendors out there like Walmart and give it to them to exploit and steal and scam your money. Be very, very careful out there, folks. Hashtag stay cyberwoke. We'll be back after these messages. Hello, folks. This is Mac Jackson Jr. from Vanderson Cyber Group. The problem with businesses today is that they are affected by cyber attacks from around the world, but companies are not sure of what to do. Normally, they are reactive instead of proactive. But folks, cyber attacks can affect your bottom line and will affect you financially, legally, and your business reputation. Here at Vanderson Cyber Group, we can help you develop a policy by training your employees on what to do if they are involved in a cyber attack and how to mitigate it and fight against it. Folks, we call it here hashtag stay cyberwoke. And that's Vanderson Cyber Group here in Las Vegas and around the world. You can reach me, folks, at VandersonCyberGroup.com or my website, MacJacksonJr.com as well. Here locally, 702-868-0808. Give us a call today, folks. We must fight back. Hi folks, welcome back to Cybersecurity Awareness TV. I'm your host, Mac Jackson Jr. In this segment, we're talking about FBI warnings for businesses when it relates to cyber scams. Our next story, we'll discuss some of the newest cyber scams that the FBI has given warnings that we should be aware of. And folks, if you listen to our show here over the last 8 years of Cybersecurity Awareness TV, and you've been a part of my tribe, if you would, and my followers, you understand that, folks, we talk about cyber threats. We've talked about Wi-Fi, right? Having your phone and having the Wi-Fi turned off in your phone. We talked about how hackers can acquire your information. We understand now, most of my viewers and my clients and friends and family understand to be careful when you get emails of someone you don't know and not to click on emails, right? Well, folks, one of the biggest things that are going right now is Bluetooth. That's right, folks, Bluetooth. And we all use it from our headphones, from our wireless speakers, from our devices in our homes. We use Bluetooth as a way to connect to our devices, to have them wireless. Well, folks, it is a big concern right now that's slowly brewing. And if it's brewing, that means it's been happening for a few years. And it has to do with a type of hack that we call in the industry blue bugging. This is a type of hack that happens when you're using your Bluetooth device. For example, if you have your phone and you're trying to pair your phone with a Bluetooth device, your phone is in a mode called discovery. What that means is it's trying to find any device. Your phone doesn't know who it's going to connect to, that you're the loyal one. For example, let me just put it this way, folks. Okay, I'm gonna use this analogy. Just think of your puppy. You bought a little dog and you're feeding it. The dog loves you because you're feeding it food. If someone else, a stranger, comes and offers that dog a better steak or better food, that dog is gonna go with the next person and get the food from, right? Exactly the same way as your phone. It doesn't know. Your phone doesn't have a conscience, in other words, okay? It doesn't know. So it's the same thing. When you have your phone on one of your devices, your computer, your phone, or even in your car, and it's trying to pair with the device, it is open to discover what other devices are around the area. Up to a mile away, folks. Did you know that? Up to a mile away. Now, there are hackers who have Bluetooth devices that are amplified. These are hacked devices to transmit a receiver of of a paired signal to communicate with Bluetooth devices. If they can pair to your device, they then can possibly have access to all of the data files on your device. And if they are paired to it, there's a possible they can transfer a file. I'm saying a file because that's what we understand, but folks, that file is more than likely malware or a virus onto your device. Now there's more to this, which I will just tell you a couple stories here we have for you regarding this, but I just want to prepare you for the next stories I'm going to show you on this type of new hacking that's happening right now, so folks. So definitely be on watch for it. Our story takes us to CBS News in LA on this type of Bluetooth attack. Check us out.
Well, Bluetooth connected devices, many of us love them and many of us use them each and every day. However, cyber experts say they could be a gateway to being hacked. Thanks for joining us tonight for Fox 43 News at 10. I'm Evan Forrester.
And I'm Amy Lutz. As people buy new electronics for Christmas, there's an increasing likelihood that hackers can steal your data through them. Fox 43's Matt Kleinman spoke with one cybersecurity expert about the risks of Bluetooth hacking.
Cell phones, AirPods, brand new cars all have one thing in common: the ability to connect via Bluetooth technology.
Any technology is not prone to cyber attack.
But the interconnectivity could make you more vulnerable to hackers.
The desire and the need for connectivity is getting us less and less aware of the risks of it because everything's connected.
Scott Davis with the Cybersecurity Association of Pennsylvania says hackers can find a way to steal your data by connecting to your device via Bluetooth, a scheme known as blue bugging.
A lot of times Bluetooth security allows a brute force kind of attempt at finding that 4-digit pairing number.
According to Davis, hackers try getting into devices when they're in discover mode. For instance, if I connect my AirPods to my cell phone, hackers can use that vulnerability to get into my phone and have free reign over my data.
Someone could be a mile away, and if they just have a high enough power on their Bluetooth that they can reach your signal, there is still connection possible.
Davis advises people to turn their Bluetooth off when they're not using it and updating software on your devices. Most importantly, you should turn your phone off at discoverable mode.
As long as it's discoverable, it's sending that "hello, I'm here" message and letting everyone know that you want to be friends, that you want to shake hands, that you want to connect.
Matt Kleinman, Fox 43 News.
So folks, the moral of this story from the last clip is to turn off your discoverability mode, right? Discoverable mode, there it is. Discoverable mode on your smart device, right? On your mobile devices. And also while you're at it, turn off your Wi-Fi too on that mobile device as well. Only use it with Wi-Fis that you have vetted and make sure they are secured. Cybersecurity, folks, means that it means more, folks, than just digital information security. It also means physical security. And what I mean by physical security, the buildings, your workplace, your home, making sure the doors are locked in your home, making sure that when you're at work and you have a badge to enter your building, that you don't have someone follow you in to your building without a proper badge. This is called piggybacking. This is also part of cybersecurity. And this is something that we all should be aware of as well, because hackers are definitely finding ways to exploit and get into your building or your home or get information from you to steal your data. Now, in this next story, we're talking about something, folks, that is very, very serious here, and it has affected our country, especially in our schools, called the active shooter. The active shooter drills are something that has been increasingly available and talked about throughout our nation, especially here in the U.S., more here in the U.S. than any other country, is about the active shooter. And that is a part of cybersecurity as well. We need to have proper drills to make sure that we are protecting our children and protecting our workforce from these types of attacks. I have a story here for you folks talking about an active shooter drill in a school that involved cybersecurity. This story comes from WFMY News 2.
The investigation is underway to find out who is behind all those hoax 911 calls reporting fake mass school shootings across the Triad and our state.
4 of those involved were in the Triad. We have 2 of those hoax calls, and they appear to be similar.
There's an active Jerusalem High School. 5 students have been shot at Jerusalem High School. An active shooter. A suspect is white male wearing red shirt and armed with rifle came to the classroom.
Okay, so that fake call was about Grimsley High School in Greensboro. Now listen to the one that came in about Williams High School in Burlington yesterday.
There is an active shooter at Williams High School. 5 students have been shot at there. A suspect is white male wearing a red shirt in black pants.
And no surprise, investigators believe the calls are connected. They sound very similar, but they haven't said much about who's responsible. WFMY News 2's Amber Lake asked a dispatcher about dealing with these types of calls.
Even though the 911 calls were fake yesterday, tensions were still high in every dispatch communications building as they worked to figure out what was going on.
At the Justice Complex in Greensboro.
Are you able to assist Medic 6?
911 dispatchers are prepared for whatever comes their way.
This is what we're trained to do.
Guilford Metro 911 says they take every call very seriously. After this one Thursday afternoon, they immediately dispatched law enforcement to Grimsley High School.
You're saying there's an active shooter there now?
Yes.
Assistant Supervisor at Guilford Metro, Kimberly Berkeley, said when a call such as this comes through, many agencies are alerted and dispatchers work to get more information.
What do they look like? How did they get there? What are they wearing? Do they have a vehicle? Where do they park? How many people are in the building? We're asking so many questions, while we also have other people in the room notifying other agencies, locking down nearby businesses, schools, daycares, whatever we can do to try to get as many people to not get involved with already the people that's on scene.
A cybersecurity expert from North Carolina A&T State University said fake calls could come from anyone, anywhere, and are very hard to track.
Very hard to trace because they don't use, they use fake IP addresses, and they could be anywhere in the world. So the calls could be made from, say, Africa or somewhere in South America. Very hard to trace and very hard to prosecute.
Again, as of right now, officials have not released any information about who could be behind these calls.
Folks, as a cybersecurity consultant, our job is to make sure that we disseminate information to you, your family, your friends, about ways to protect them from the fastest growing crimes of the 21st century, and that they are cybercrimes and scammers, folks. We must be proactive and not just reactive on these types of threats. We can do this by informing each other and keeping aware and alert to these attacks. Remember, folks, #StayCyberWork. We'll be right back after these messages. Hi folks, welcome back to Cybersecurity Awareness TV. I'm your host, Matt Jackson Jr. This week, we are talking about tips you can do to protect yourself from these cyber threats. The first thing I would like to tell you folks is our first tip is to think before you click. Let that sink in for a second. Think before you click. You get that email, you get that SMS message. Think before you click on it. Who is this coming from? Is it someone that you know? Is there another way that you can vet that particular message before you click on it? Perhaps maybe picking up a phone and calling the actual person before you click on this particular link in an email or a text message. Stay alert to all suspicious types of activities online. Especially now during the holiday season, folks, there are tons of different types of activities that hackers will do, types of scams to get your information. And right around the corner, folks, is tax time. And that's definitely when these hackers will try to file a tax return. That's right, folks. File a tax return in your name to get your tax return sent to them electronically, sent to a debit card that's not yours. And then when you go to file your claim to the IRS, they'll tell you you've already filed. Definitely, folks, stay alert and stay vigilant of these type of attacks. They are definitely out there. Now, again, like we say every week, we talk about the password. And again, folks, I tell everyone, make sure that you have a passphrase and not just a single word to enter and access your computer. But folks, there is a better way. We've talked about that for years here on Cybersecurity Awareness TV. There's a process called two-tier authentication, right? Where you log into a website and the website says, we're going to send a code to your phone, to enter that code back into your computer, and then you can have access to the website. Yes, we got it. Most of us are using that. But folks, there's another type of password access. It's called passwordlessness. I know, strange is different words now. Passwordlessness. And that means you don't have a password. It's a combination of a biometrics and two-factor authentication. It uses your phone, but you're using a authentication process. There's a actual software encrypting program that works with the websites that you utilize to make sure that it's you that giving access to a particular website. Now, we use that at the university levels a lot. There's a couple of universities I work with, and to access the accounts, you need to have this type of authentication. So far, it's working out pretty well, but you have to make sure you have your phone with you when you're getting ready to sit in front of your computer to enter the website. That could be annoying. That can be annoying and frustrating. But again, it's something that hackers look forward to. They like to frustrate us with this information so we can be take us off guard, right? Take us off our position of protection. Those are things you need to be careful about, folks, is making sure that you have proper security with your smart device. And of course, like I mentioned earlier in the show, make sure you turn off Wi-Fi on your phone when you're not utilizing it. It's very, very, very important. I spoke to a couple of people this week regarding their particular Wi-Fi devices, and they mentioned that they have their Wi-Fi on most of the time. And I was at a restaurant, and 5 people I talked to there, they were interested in a conversation about security. It's kind of interesting. You start talking cybersecurity, and everybody has are interested in finding out about what's going on. And I mentioned to the folks that make sure you turn off Wi-Fi off of your phones. And everybody there had Wi-Fi turned on their smart device, their mobile device. Wi-Fi was turned on, and I explained to them why. I explained to them by having Wi-Fi on their phones turned on, it goes back to where we're talking about how the Bluetooth hack happens. Well, there's a Wi-Fi hack. The Wi-Fi hack is very, very easy to do. You have Wi-Fi on your phone, you're driving from point A to point B, you'll be surprised how many times your phone tries to hop onto the internet from access points between point A to point B. These access points that it tries to hop on, you have no idea who they are. They could be hackers. They could be bad guys at an apartment complex or in a suburb area. You're at a stoplight and your smart device is in your wallet or in the seat of your car, not knowing that it's getting ready to jump onto an access point that could be volatile. Same thing with Bluetooth, folks. So make sure you turn these things off if you're not utilizing it. It's very, very important. Someone asked me also in this conversation, well, why doesn't the manufacturers, the phone companies, tell us about these things? They don't. It's not their responsibility. You bought the product. It is your responsibility to be proactive and not just reactive. So just think about this, folks. If you'd like to learn more about how to protect yourself from these types of cyber attacks, contact my company, MacJacksonJr.com, and the name of my company is Vanderson Cyber Group. Vanderson Cyber Group. We will help you put together some routines and policies and procedures to protect yourself from these types of cyber threats. That's all we have for you folks for this week on Cybersecurity Awareness TV. Definitely do us a favor and share, like, and tell a friend what you've learned on this show about the cyber threats and how to protect yourselves. We'll talk to you next time, folks, here on Cybersecurity Awareness TV. Take care. We'll see you then.